Good dog, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign. So we lost a battleship last episode. Quite sad, although I guess since we inflicted much heavier damage on a much bigger enemy task force, it was considered a win. But anyway, we're gonna have to build new battleships. There are some battles to play first, though. Let's see. Convoy first. I guess they're the same, aren't they? Kind of. Yeah, sure. Let's do this one first. It's cruiser on cruiser action. Alright, Skirmish. Let's go sink us an American heavy cruiser. And some transports. Come here, you. Missoula. Alright. Pretty good main gun range. 19-inch standard torpedoes. So the torpedoes are not too much to worry about. Although I wouldn't want to be hit with all of them. Because it's got quite a few. Those single barrel 10-inch guns, though. I mean, they're kind of dangerous. Alright, what are we shooting at now, Skirmish? The transports? No. Leave those for later. Although they too have torpedoes. Fast ones. And we are scoring the first effective hits. That said, though, the enemy cruiser is doing some damage in return. And has now launched torpedoes, which means, well, even if I said those torpedoes are not that dangerous, there are a lot of them. So we're going to have to turn, and this is risky. But we made it. Rudder got damaged. Enemy tower is out. They're now launching torpedoes from the other side. My rudder got fixed, and the enemy cruiser is about to sink. There are the torpedoes. Good. Got through that one without too much damage taken. The main guns on the furthest one. And then the secondaries start working on the closer ones now that we get closer. You do have torpedoes, so gonna watch out for that. And they did launch. There they are. Fast torpedoes. Very fast. Almost 60 knots, I think. There goes Goff as well. Alright. And we got one more, just like that, just without the transports at the end. Okay, there's the enemy. Seattle. Same class. Let's drop down to cruising speed. I mean, they're going to be faster anyway. They scored the first hit, although it's not like a very big hit. There we go. Can actually go a little bit faster than this. 28.8. Let's say, there we go, 29. And my main tower gets hit. No, I'm the one with the damage instability here. Do you have damage instability too, Seattle? Yes, you do, a little bit. There we go. They reloaded HE, so they no longer have the range. And I guess the AI hasn't figured out that they can just load AP and suddenly get the range again. So... or they're just gonna get closer, I guess. And tube powder. Yeah, it's probably not very explosive. Now we've damaged their main tower, although it's not knocked out yet. And there they've launched. Now it seems Berserker is actually listening to my speed settings this time. I thought she was, but apparently not. I was going to just avoid torpedoes by reducing speed. That didn't really work. Do some turning like this though. But she did launch before those torpedoes blew up. There they are. Yeah, we're good. No problem. And Seattle not doing too well. Like, not at all. You can probably get a little bit closer. How fast are you going now? 27.5. Yeah, we're matching that speed. They've taken some flooding, but they're so fast to begin with. Secondaries have now joined in. Their secondaries almost in range now. I don't think they have that many 5.8s. Taking some damage at the end here, but I think they are almost ready to sink. Let's go with AP. There we go. Our main tower is now destroyed, taking more flooding. And they're almost dead. There we go. Nice. Structural damage even, not just flooding. So, good job there. Now, let's design some ships. Let's see, these are... they were the ones I sent into the Mediterranean to fight this big... American task force here, the one that sank Olav Haraldsson last episode. But I guess the these ships got that fight instead. Harald Hårfagre is still being repaired because she was damaged in a previous battle a few months ago, and teleported into Italia for repair. Would actually have been nice if she was still in that task force and fighting alongside her sister, because I think I could have used her her firepower. See, are we invading Madagascar? Okay, no more naval invasions this month, I guess, because I did launch one somewhere. 88%. 0, although we're sending this one here to do both the invasions at once. Britain is at 0 here with 1 destroyer. Ooh, I don't want to send out a Viking. They're not good in destroyer versus destroyer type fights. I can send out Frigg. There we go. Alright, ship design. Alright, let's see. I think I want to start with the same modern battleship hull. Let's see, which is it? This one. That Harald Hårfagre and Olav Haraldsson were designed on. I'm gonna max it out though. 28 knots, which is my standard speed for a kind of fast battleship. We're gonna up the beam a bit. Let's up it just by a little bit more to make it 85,000. Close enough. That is close enough. And the name will of course be there we go. Alright. And we're gonna do turbo electric, I think. Just because of all the benefits here. Well, I mean, acceleration and deceleration in theory only, because, well, it seems like it's the ship's in dip, not too responsive at the helm. like so. And we're gonna get the Uber funnel stations, of course. I cannot fit two of the biggest ones. I can fit two of those, although that looks a little bit tight. With it almost clipping into the main tower. How about I take this one there. Now we're just gonna do two of these. Because at least now it's not clipping into the tower. Or did that look okay? With the slightly bigger ones. I mean, it does kind of look like the funnel is part of the tower there. Almost like the fore funnel on an Iowa class. Well, not part of the tower, but kind of connected to it. And we can just ignore this mast sticking down into the funnel itself. We don't notice that. Okay. Main guns. Can I fit 20s on this now? Yes. The Mark 5s are remarkably smaller than the Mark 4s. So now they do fit on these towers. So we're going to start out with 20s. And then see how much we need to reduce that by. I can move things a little bit further further aft. A turret, maybe a little bit further forwards, just so we cover these bulkheads here. Slight forward offset. We can fix that in when we armor it. I have a plan with the armor. But first though, let's see. Someone tipped me off to this, and it does seem true in most cases that auxiliary 4 let's see, yeah, 54. And no, it's a little bit heavier, but not by much. We're talking 9 tons here. So we're gonna do auxiliary 4 instead of 3. 3 is what I usually use. Well, sometimes it's a little bit heavier, sometimes it's a little bit lighter. We're going to build it for resistance, of course, which is now 157.9. Plus we get another minus 7.4 gun damage from increasing the beam, and additional slope design also from increasing the beam. If you increase the draft, your slope design actually gets worse, so you're not going to be bouncing quite as much. Increased HE on the main gun rounds, just because I find myself using a lot of the HE ammo now. Let's see, what is our flash fire chance? 0. Can I go heavy? Yes. Still 0. Is it still 0 if I go barbette 2? Yeah, barbette 2, still 0. That is impressive. And maybe RDF as well. And we do start out with quite a bit of armor. So these are 50s. Let's lengthen them. Still 0 flashfire channels. That is surprising. I'm able to get that even with heavy and increased ammunition. I think that's down to ooh, and the range is much better than it needs to be. We can save off a lot more weight there. Almost 24,000 tons. Yeah, that's it's not gonna run out of fuel. All right. Can I make them 0.5s? Yeah, sure I can. Sure I can. Very nice. Okay, armor. It maxes out at 18 still. Main deck, I can lighten that. I can lighten that quite a bit. Because apparently you don't take main deck hits ever. So, that's fine. I still want to have some deck armor though, just in case it does happen. Which I don't think it will, but it could happen. Let's say 3 on the third inner belt. That's, you know, plenty good. Or is it? Or is it? Maybe I do want some more protection on the inner belt here. Let's bump that to 3.5. Equal to 35. That, yeah, it's got to be very close to go through that. 8 on the turret top, again. Never seem to take top hits, but it could happen. Also never seem to take barbette hits, but it could also happen. Potentially. Like so. 1.2 on the fore and aft deck, sure. That is fine. Conning tower. Maybe I should just do it like that. Yeah, sure. Sure. Save some weight. I do need secondary guns on this as well. Like so, saving more weight. Now, fore belt, 6 inches. Aft belt, there we go, overweight. But my idea was that if I'm facing an enemy I can quite comfortably beat, I'm just going to be sailing broadside, and most of the hits are going to be on the main belt. But if I do have to retreat, like we saw in that previous battle, most of the hits are going to be on the back, on the aft belt. Which was what ended up sinking the previous Olav Haraldsson. So that was my thinking with the thick aft belt here. I just sneeze, sorry, but apparently that is very heavy. I wonder, are extended belts weighted differently than main belts? So if I move this turret back, will my ship get lighter? No, it will not. But that is That is probably down to the citadel armor. 84,592. No. Nope. The could also be because of the main deck, I guess. So that theory was wrong. Let's do the initial 3 inches on the third inner belt, and the aft armor belts. Let's say 9 inches on the aft belt. Still a bit overweight though. Still a bit overweight. That saved quite a bit. So I got 1,000 tons for secondary firepower. Okay. Well, like, we are close to getting everything I want here. So let's compare triple 7-inch guns to triple 8-inch guns in terms of weight. $160 with 109 tons of ammunition weight. 286, 142 tons. So yeah, 7-inch guns are still the way to go, I think. It's because you get a lot more. They are a lot lighter and not much worse. They're almost as good. I just fit it in a way that doesn't look too bad. Sticking out a little bit with the turret ring there, but it's, you know, good enough. 53. Now they're 55s, and they're gonna be 7.5s, of course. And yes, we're oh, they're not 55s. I was looking at the wrong gun. There we are. 55s. Alright. That's the secondary battery. We're 1,000 tons overweight. So something has to be reduced here. I'm hesitant to reduce the size of the main guns. It's because I know the 20s here are pretty good. But also it looks very empty without without secondary guns on the upper levels here, so it's gonna need to have those. Can't have my ship looking weird. Maybe I do need to reduce the main gun size. Maybe 18.5s instead. Maybe. Let's do another weight comparison once I've given them the same levels of armor. Let's see, that is 2,927 tons and 1,148 tons of ammunition. Yeah, save about 1,000 tons per double turret. But you don't quite have the punch though, or the almost got the range. Damage AP 6,000, damage HE 11,005 versus 8,003 and 15,8. So the 20s just do a lot more. I could replace the triples with doubles. Save a lot of weight that way. Let's go with 18s. I do have super battleships with 20-inch guns. And this is not going to be a super battleship, but just a big battleship. I guess you could kind of call it a super battleship. It is in that weight category almost. Also, as an added bonus, these turrets can traverse 360 degrees. These triple turrets can, which is useful. Just aesthetically, I would have liked to have them a little bit closer, but actually aesthetically, I would have liked them to look a little bit bigger. But Scandinavia gets the US turret models, so that is that. Now I can go with the very heavy extended belts, which is what I wanted from the start. Nice. We're gonna be survivability maxing here. 5-inch turrets do not fit on the upper levels. 4-inch, guess that's the best I can do. And even they are kind of small. If I make them 4.9s, they get a little bit bigger. They're already 55s in length, so that is fine. And when I increase the size, I can also give them a little bit of armor, although not a whole lot. Let's see. Well, let's see. I guess I can fit the 3-inch guns somewhere, but those turrets just don't look right there. The 2-inch guns just, come on, kind of look better when fitted to tiny emplacements like that. And yeah, I know they're not that useful, but I'm just gonna fill in the spots. Even have mounts for them on these funnels. Okay, maybe not here because they're kind of clipping into one another, but yeah, I don't think I will make use of those mounts. Armor quality is up to 202%, which is pretty wild. Let's see, what more can we do now for survivability? You can bump up the anti-flood. That added quite a bit of weight. But yeah, sure. I can bump up the shafts. Can I go with auxiliary 5? Not quite. Not quite. Floating chance is minus 99.7%. It does not get better with the auxiliary. Electro-hydro rudder. That is heavy. Electric 2 also heavy, and it increases my my flash fire chance. Yeah, we're almost there now. This is very close to what I wanted from this ship. So yeah, much of it hinges on deck hits just not being a thing, because it doesn't have much deck armor, but so far it has not seemed it is a thing. I'm not sure if that is intentional or if it's a bug. I can go up a little bit on the extended decks anyway. Yeah, that's close enough, I think. 3 point, almost 3.7 billion price tag. That's not too bad. That is not really too bad. I've got some ships that are more expensive. Can't seem to find them just now, but I'm sure they are here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, Dovre, more expensive, and of course the captured German one, the French one is actually just a little bit more expensive than this, and that's a super battleship. Yeah, the German one, almost 7 billion. So I will call this a normal line battleship, ready for mass production, because we do have some older ships that need to be replaced, need to be retired. Worth saying that most of those ships that need to be retired are actually classed as battlecruisers, so we're going to be replacing the Vanquish and Maud class battlecruisers with these guys. I've got plenty of spare displacements, so I can build 4 of these. Maybe not quite now. I can build 2 now, start construction. I'll leave me some spare capacity for repairs, and then later on let's see, Stockholm, sure, and then later on when it's time to retire the I think they're here, by the way, and turn these into museum ships, I can build another 4 of them. Right. Now let's see what kind of battles we get in December. And there seems to be a lot of things happening. First of all, a light cruiser fight. I think Jallarhorn can take this on. Helga, maybe not. because Helga is one of the old Bragi class light cruisers, and while she can probably take on one of the French ones that are not that good, maybe not. Excuse me, maybe not. Whatever this ship was called. But Ivar of the Jallarhorn class, main drawbacks, well, obviously the speed. It's a very slow light cruiser. And also the tower spotting. But compared to most light cruisers, being essentially a kind of semi-armored cruiser, it's got very, very good resistance. And good armor. So, should be able to hold her own in a gunfight. I'm being spotted. The enemy ship is spotting both my ships. I'm not spotting it in return. Might need Helga as a spotter, but there she is. Let's see here. What is your oh, those are long-range torpedoes. At least, whoops. At least he's not going to be able to fire at me from outside of my spotting range. That would be very frustrating. It's got 4 single 7.2-inch guns, 5-inch main belt, and of course a lot of these torpedoes. Now the torpedoes will be a threat, because even though I've got the kind of sonar, sonar 3 on Helga and sonar 2 on Ivar, the base torpedo spotting range is so pitiful that even increasing it by, I think it's like 170% or so, it still leaves me with a very bad torpedo spotting range. And these are some fairly stealthy torpedoes. And there they go, that's the first spread coming in. If I need to, there you go, sailing outside of my my gun range. Torpedoes avoided. If I need to, I will bring in Helga with her torpedoes. But I want her staying out of this, at least for now. Darn it, I just remembered I forgot to take a screenshot of the battleship I designed. Which means I have to go into the designer again, and loading that designer this late in the campaign, let me tell you, that takes a long time. I can do that after recording the rest. Yeah, we're locked in a closing gunfight now, Duluth. And we win those. Ivar has not taken any damage yet. Just keeps blocking everything. Meanwhile, Duluth is getting eaten alive. Helga, I don't want you to be the one picking this fight. Let's draw that American back to Ivar. You know, some incoming enemy torpedoes that Could very easily have hit me. And we'll launch from the other side as well. Helga taking some damage, but it's pretty superficial, really. Meanwhile, Evite is just sending round after round into Duluth. Come on, let me select you. Which, worth noting, is worth quite a bit more than these two combined. There we go. Alright. Nice victory. Well done, Evite. That's why I keep these around. Let's see. What else do we have? Undefended port. Another one. Ooh, and here we go. France versus my will become museum ship collection. Danton class battleship. Okay. 23 knots. 15-inch guns. Did you forget which decade you're in, France? I mean, a couple decades ago you had a an absolute monster of a super battleship, the Bearn class, which I've got 4 of. And now you're building this Carnot class, 14.3-inch guns. At least it's not super slow, but it's not too impressive, really. St. Louis. 40 knots. Okay, now I'm a little bit impressed. How did they pull that off? And St. Charles. 40 knots. Jeez. Yeah, I I want to try and pick up some of these as war operations, because that's impressive. And they got a bunch of these light cruisers, which we know are kind of trash. They've been refit even, making them even slower. Good job. Alright. I'm confident in my my golden oldies. Alright, France. Let's go. We're already opening fire. Nice. And there we go. The game is now responding. Battlecruisers just follow the battleships, as per usual. And let's see, like so, and like so. Viking, 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 and Viking. So you got 4 Vikings and 4 J38s. Vikings and J38s. Oh, off. There we go. Let's select some targets for the big guns here, because we don't need to be targeting everything on one ship. Like so, I guess. Venaminen and Ilmarinen can target the heavy cruisers. Let's take a look at what the French have built here. Provence. I mean, it's got decent armor. It's not, like, terrible. Carnot. Well, it looks a little bit better, actually. It's not half bad. That's a decent battleship hull. They didn't do the meme triple super firing thing that I'm doing. And this is what piqued my interest the most. It looks like ass, of course, with the A turret super firing the B turret, so you can have both turrets execute the bridge crew for failing you again. But yeah, 40 knot top speed. Very impressive. That's about as far as my my impression goes. I got Morgan Kane leading my my ships. Already doing some damage, I think. Oh, 20-inch hits on Provence. Already taking hits on my DDs. Do you have torpedo range on anything? Not yet, you don't. That's alright. I can just pull you out. Get the rest of the squadron closer. We're about to get into torpedo range here. Vikings can smoke up. And now the J-38s are in range. Vikings soon in range. Oh, the J-38s are almost in range. You can do it like that. .3808, launching at a very steep angle there. Probably not going to hit much. Okay, first Viking has already taken some flooding damage, so it needs to detach. Let's select targets for the rest of them. Wow, Viking 34 is far behind. But there she goes, launching her torpedoes. And everyone leaving. Good. And torpedoes are hitting home. Perfect. Getting many torpedo hits. Well, 7, not that many, but it's not too terrible. We got 10 in the end. I'll say that's good enough. Let's see. We can start picking on these light cruisers, I guess. Let's see, I'm gonna collect these destroyers again, Division 4. These 3 are in good shape. They can ride again. Viking 35, probably gonna sink. 33, 36, 34 in good shape. So they can, well, they gotta get away first. But once they're safe, they're gonna rearm and launch again. .35 will probably not make it. Solferino sinks. What sank you, Solferino? Mostly 18-inch hits. Took 3 torpedo hits, but that was mostly 18s. So that would have been Dovre sinking you. Yeah, those were some big hits from the 18.5-inch guns on Dovre. Meanwhile, Morgan Kane has not yet finished off Provence. Riga. I almost didn't notice that, but you're taking a lot of hits. From your original owners, this is another French-built ship. Let's see, like that. Riga might not make it. He's taking a lot of flooding. especially now that she has to turn around a little bit. To not be the ship that takes all the hits. Torpedo's not quite ready on the J-38s. Riga goes down just when I was about to have like a saving operation here. Valorous goes down. Carnot lost a turret. Now there's no Riga to save, so I don't need to have these destroyers risk themselves when they don't have torpedoes ready. But they're gonna be ready soon-ish. And when they are, they got some targets here. We need revenge. Let's just make sure my my big guns just don't leave the entire battle. Vikings are almost ready. Here we go. Torpedo time. And launch. We're going to have to keep sailing on this course for a little bit, so that the enemy don't just change course too much. But also I do want to keep these alive because they're kind of expensive. And my torpedoes are looking good. Let's see if they can dodge this. And they almost dodge all of them. We're gonna get some hits on Carnot though. Colbert avoided everything. Carnot, I think, took one. So, not too impressed. But we do get some other hits here on a light cruiser. Morgan Kane is taking hits. They are dueling enemy battleships now. I think we'll pull through. Carnot sinks. One of my destroyers also sinks. Morgan Kane is out of HE. so is Provence. Douvre is taking some hits. Ilmarine and Vanaminen are knocking out French light cruisers. And the Vikings back. Gloire will probably sink very soon. Douvre is taking hits, but it's not too serious. Her armor is holding. Gloire sinks. Provence is about to sink. Frame rate is also sinking. Biggest casualty here. There we go. The super fast battlecruiser no longer quite as fast with one of its engines out. Oh, they just fixed it. Never mind. Still zooming around. Let's have secondary guns on that light cruiser. Oh, something just hit Douvre for quite a bit of damage. But we sank what I think was their last battleship. Yeah, we did. They got 2 battlecruisers left, zooming around. That's a good target here. Everything is doing wild maneuvers. So who knows where those torpedoes will be aimed. If I just aim it at this light cruiser, that alone should give me a like decent impact. Looks about right. Oh, Douvre has taken huge hits now. Maud taking some hits as well, but there is not much left of the French task force. In fact, they have no capital ships left, so really nothing they have that can do any serious damage to my ships now. Are we gonna get any more torpedo hits here? Yeah, I think. There we go, yeah. Foudroyant took torpedoes earlier. Colbert took some torpedoes from that last attack by the Vikings. Morgan Kane finished off Flucliant. Colbert sinks. Coldbert. Flora is also about to go down. Poor girl, did nothing. Sank. Yeah, it's just a mopping up operation from now on. Not bad by a bunch of soon-to-be museum ships. Vanquish, Ilmarinen, especially. Big now damage numbers, also by Maud. And Dovre. Especially impressive considering she's been mostly firing at capital ships, which do tend to have decent damage reduction. Shots blocked by let's have Dovre join in. Finish off that annoying heavy cruiser. There we go. What sank you in the end? 16-inch hit actually. That should be the last one. Yeah. Alright. So that was the French invasion attempt in Northern Africa. Defeated. Although at the loss of another capital ship. Granted, it was a very old one. Originally French built. So not too sad about that. And the remaining 4 battlecruisers in that task force, Märta, Maud, Ilmarinen, and Väinämöinen, after the war, they're going to get retired, turn into museum ships, and they're going to be replaced by 4 of those battleships we just assigned. So that's it for now. We're going to have the new Fenris class battlecruisers test their guns on some British cruisers next time. I'm kind of curious to see how they're gonna do. I think they'll do fine. Goodbye, and take care.